Hey, Labesh, do you want to do a quick mic check before we start?
Yes, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming loud and clear. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, we can still see that people are joining very actively. So let's wait an extra minute and we'll get started. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Autonomous community call. First and foremost, I want to extend a huge thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. Your presence and support means the world to us, and we're thrilled to have you here. Today, we will discuss the latest developments and news happening at Autonomous Network. Before we dive in, I'd like to introduce our incredible lineup of speakers for today. Joining me today are Lapesh, our co-founder and CEO, Jeremy, our Chief Technology Officer, Todd, our Chief Operating Officer, Peter, our Chief Marketing Officer, Jim, head of our ecosystem team, Parth, our head of partnerships, and Randy, our technical community manager. We have a packed agenda for today, as you can see on the screen, and I'm excited to walk you through it. So first of all, we'll be discussing the state of the network. Then we'll be discussing all the developments around our mainnet launch. Then we'll go through the roadmap updates and discuss some news around Stake Wars 2. Last but not the least, we'll go through the ongoing marketing and partnership initiatives, and we will have plenty of Q&A time at the end. Please don't hesitate to participate actively during the Q&A and feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Right, Randy, it's over to you for the Gemini 3H update, please.
Thank you, Emil. It's great to be here. I'm really excited about this call here. Lots of good information. Quick update on the 3H network. We're currently sitting a little bit over 5,000 nodes. Looks like last time I checked a few minutes ago, it was 5,026. And we're currently 137.98 petabytes of space pledged, so just shy of the 138. We haven't had a whole lot of releases lately because things have been pretty stable. However, yesterday we did have a new minor release of both the advanced CLI and Space Acres. And some of the highlights there would be better thread selection for replotting on thread rippers and epochs, as well as the hybrid Intel chips with P&E cores. There were also some snap sync enhancements and then some additional translations for Space Acres. And that is it for the update. Back to you, Emil.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. And now probably the most exciting topic on the agenda. Lapesh, it's over to you to discuss what's happening with our mainnet launch.
Thanks a lot, Emil, and thanks a lot to all of you for joining in, for tuning in today. And we definitely have some really exciting news out here. So without much further ado, here's what we got for you guys. When we launched Stake Wars 2, very quickly, you guys helped us identify some key issues with things like Astral, slashing. There were several issues that were identified, and again, thanks a lot for that because that's exactly the idea of launching the testnet. And that also made it clear that if we tried to roll everything out at once, we'd be pushing far beyond our target date, especially if we wanted to go out with the level of robustness and quality that this community expects of us. What we did see is that the consensus chain, the backbone of our network, is very solid. It has been solid for a while, and the leadership team got together. The Foundation Council of the Subspace Foundation Council got together, and we decided that it might make sense for us to phase out the launch into two. So the first phase would be the launch of our consensus chain, and phase which would happen in October. And the phase two launch would be the domains, and that should be a fast follow around in Q1. Around early Q1 is when we are targeting for the phase out for releasing the domains. And there are tons of operational things that need to be in place when we are trying to go mainnet live. And as soon as we decided internally that let's go do this, where we launched the phase one with the consensus chain, we are very confident on the technology stack out there, and we can take the time to focus on the operational side of launching it. And there are tons of them. We are talking about collecting investors' wallets, getting the right custody partners in place, lots of those things which are outside the normal realm of the technical stack needed to be done, and they would have been needed to be done even if we were going to do the full-blown launch. But this gives us the opportunity to make sure that those are done out of the way, so that when we launch domains, XDM, etc., in Q1, we have those non-technical things mostly taken care of by doing this phased approach. And also our community, you guys are, most of the community is comprised of farmers. We wanted to make sure that we are able to get the farmers to start farming. We are able to have them start earning rewards in ADC rather than the testnet tokens. And also, this gives us a really good foundation for when we do launch domains from a decentralization perspective, from the space pledge perspective. We would be going out to the market, talking to and really encouraging more and more farming activity on the consensus chain over the next few months. The idea being that we have a very solid foundation which is in place when we bring in the utility on the domain side. So currently, when we launch the consensus chain, you're going to be able to upload data using system remark, but the utility is more or less limited till we get the domains in place in Q1. And also with that, we looked at from a transferability of the token perspective. Since the utility is limited right now, the decision was made that we are not going to make the token transferable right away. That will happen when we launch our phase two domains. And with that, the token utility comes into place. And that's where the transferability of the token would be enabled. And this allows us to focus in on the technical strengths of the consensus chain, while currently the team is just going through tons of operational tasks in making this happen. And this phasing also allows us to show and make measurable progress, not just keep on delaying our launches for one reason or the other, but try to go out as soon as possible with what we got, whatever is robust, so that the team, the farming community, can already start farming on the mainnet. So with that, I would pass it on to Jeremy, and he can walk us through some of the roadmap items. And obviously, I know that the community will have a ton of questions, and we have enough time set up for Q&A, so we can go through that. Jeremy?
Thank you, Lavesh. Can I be heard?
Yes, we can
Great.
hear you.
Okay. So Lavesh really touched on many of the points I'm going to make. So there's going to be some repeat here, but just to be clear, we are launching the consensus chain and consensus chain only, targeted for October. You're going to be seeing a lot of activity on GitHub, indicating that the launch is coming. New chain specs. Astral is going to be kind of rolling out with rewards from previous test nets, and a real focus on reward transparency. We're going to be having dress rehearsals of network launches probably every week, starting next week. Community is always welcome to participate in those, and we'll be seeing, you'll be seeing announcements when those are happening. One really exciting thing that's going to be coming soon, is already being worked on, is integration of GPU plotting, kind of the official autonomous GPU plotting implementation. And that is really going to make up, what you're going to see over the next 6 weeks as we're approaching launch, again, with targeted time frame sometime in October. Fast following on that, we're going to be looking to phase 2, which is likely in the first quarter of 2025. That's what we're targeting. You're going to see token transferability come at that time. You're going to see launch of domains, and with domains, cross-domain messaging. That's going to include Nova, our first EVM domain. It's going to be AutoID, our identity framework. We're going to be focusing in the meantime on many AI-related use cases. You'll see activity in that with proof of personhood and agent use cases around AutoID. So we should see that coming in, like I said, in first quarter of 2025. And then I know we said 2 phases, but I'm kind of thinking in 3 phases. Of the next phase is scalability, and kind of what in the past I think we've referred to as mainnet Omega. So you're going to see a real focus on bandwidth scaling, meaning how much data can be uploaded to the network. First step in that is going to be a data-focused domain that should follow quickly after kind of the launch of phase 2. And we're actively in the kind of design phase of a full data sharding implementation. So details on the scalability roadmap will be coming out over the next few weeks. We'll be dropping forum posts and blog posts about this. So I'm very excited. I know this has been a long time coming. And, as I said, you're going to see a lot of activity happening. This is real. We're launching, and yeah, I'm just excited to have been part of this and to see where we're going next.
Thanks,
Jim,
Gareth. Yeah,
you're up now.
so thanks for that explanation of our revised launch plan, guys. I know that this is a really exciting development, and we are expecting a ton of questions. If you have a question about anything we're discussing today, please do pop them in the chat or raise your hand. Hopefully, our moderators are going to tag them with a little question mark, and we're going to try and get to everyone before the end of the call. But first of all, I want us to just take a look at how this news is going to impact our March to mainnet roadmap and see how it cuts down the steps involved, allowing us to deliver the phase 1 mainnet launch in what we expect to be the coming weeks. So hopefully the slides advanced. It has on my screen, it hasn't on my recording. I'm not sure what's going on there. Can anyone see a roadmap? Oh, okay, it's just updated. So hopefully, okay, thanks. Hopefully those in the audience are somewhat familiar with this simplified milestones graphic. We've been using it to visualize our plan up to this point. This in front of us now is the last version we shared, which involved a launch including domains and demonstrated the tasks we'd completed up to this point, the grey guys on the left there. With the changes announced today, it's been updated to look like this. There's a slight delay for me, but hopefully you're seeing it. As you can see, there are much fewer items between where we are now, the left-hand side there, and where we need to be for the phase 1 launch. This diagram, which I'll share in a forum post later, it comes with the usual caveat that this is a simplification of a much more detailed plan we have internally. But this version is designed to provide an indication of the tasks we have to complete to get there. So let's dig in. First, the big one. We can see top left. We need to aim the incentivized testnet, of course. We have to do this so that the reward pool stops growing and we can finalize tokenomics. This is going to take place in 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today, a fortnight, that's on the 18th of September. The Gemini 3 testnet has served its purpose in that we have great confidence in the farming process and the consensus it provides to our domains. we're going to announce that the final incentivized testnet block on a community call on the 18th. We'll be hosting here with the team, possibly in a new venue, actually. Exciting developments there. We're going to probably move away from Discord, but still have it available in Discord, of course. The Gemini 3 testnet was our longest running testnet, and rewards across both emission pools represent a whopping 4.8% of total token supply. We'll be taking the time to reminisce on the struggles, the achievements, and the journey we've been on during that call. So do please join us to celebrate this milestone. And remember, this is not just ending the incentivized phase. This is starting the countdown to the mainnet launch. We do have plans to replace Gemini 3H with a new persistent testnet a little further down the line. Again, we do, of course, still need somewhere to run Stake Wars 2 when we're ready to test domains again. I think Jeremy's going to talk a little more on Stake Wars 2 after me. We need a cool name for the new testnet. So if you have any suggestions, please do highlight them to us in our socials. And if you think you've got something, feel free to drop them in the chat during this call, and we'll take a look at them during the Q&A later. The perfect one could warrant a small token of appreciation from the team. Once the pressure of the incentivized phase is over, it represents a great opportunity for our wonderful farmer community to prepare and optimize for mainnet. This could be reconfiguring hardware, finally setting up the farming cluster, or even giving Space Acres a test drive. And on Space Acres, we've recently given the Space Acres documentation a refresh. And it now the application itself now has a number of UI translations. We cover German, Chinese, and Russian, in addition to the default English. So if that's held you back, we really want Space Acres to be as accessible as possible to as wide an audience as possible. Moving on in the community track there, so just bumping one block over to the right in the top track. You can see that the next task is the community rewards audit. This is a new item that we've bumped the priority on based on the news we just delivered. It actually has a dependency on the product engineering item directly below it. So that blue guy, 2 blocks down, the Astral Rewards Checker. So we have had an early preview version of the rewards checker in Astral for a while, but it wasn't fully populated with all the data that was required to allow testnet farmers to view their consolidated earnings across all networks. So that would include Gemini 1, 2, and 3, as well as Stake Wars 1. The rewards checker is getting a comprehensive redesign, and the early mock-ups I've seen look great, with the ability to connect multiple wallets, see your rewards per phase, and the absolute number of mainnet tokens earned due to your efforts on our testnets. We'll be providing updates on progress as we prepare the new tools, so watch this space. Back to the community track, the community task there. We're going to need your help to audit the results here. Our goal is complete transparency insofar as there will be a way to obtain the raw data from the networks in question and an explanation of the calculations applied to arrive at the amount allocated to every eligible wallet. We invite and encourage every community member to take the time to double check the raw data and those calculations. While we don't expect any discrepancies, we'd be very interested to hear if any are found. Remember that once the chain spec is written and the Genesis block has been created, we will not be able to make amendments. So it's in everyone's interests to participate in this audit. Any questions or problems should be immediately alerted to a member of the ecosystem team in the first instance. And together, we'll build a foundation of trust that will support our network for years to come. Again, we could not offer this tool in its entirety until we end the incentivized testnet and understand both the final reward pools and everyone's relative contributions, because of course, everyone is still getting block and vote rewards on Gemini 3H. Moving along, so the third block here, I don't know if you see my mouse. Yeah, you can. We'll be launching a Genesis data contest next week. Led by Ryan, this represents an opportunity to immortalize yourself in the blockchain's history forever. For those of us who have been through a network launch before, we'll remember that post-launch, there will be a process of uploading amounts of seed data to the network. This becomes the initial history for the network and is the data that will be replicated across the farmer network in its initial phase. This is a very important process that requires careful consideration. Too much seed data can cause a lot of unnecessary bandwidth usage as everyone performs their initial sync. Not enough seed data, and well, we all remember Replotmageddon back at launch of Gemini 3G. Fortunately, we've had previous network launches at both ends of the scale, and the 3H launch demonstrated that the team have found the sweet spot as regards the amount of data to pre-seed, so that we walk the line between those two extremes. That initial seed data can be whatever we would like it to be, and we'll be inviting our community to submit the files they would like to see preserved forever once it has been uploaded as part of the seeding process. This could be important research papers, backups of other blockchains, a favorite picture of your farming rig, and anything and everything in between. We're excited to see what you guys come up with. We'll be unveiling this exciting initiative next week on the community call, so do keep your eyes open for updates on the rules, the mechanics, and how to participate. Favorite submissions will be rewarded with some of our fantastic new Autonomys merch. Another bombshell, Autonomys merch, there we go. Shifting down to the foundation track, so the green row there, we're working with a design agency on assets for its public presence. We do already have a Twitter handle, which we'll be unveiling shortly, and hope you will all throw us a follow so you can keep up with the latest news from the Subspace Foundation. The foundation is, of course, responsible for stewarding the growth and development of both the protocol and its ecosystem. Ambassador agreements have been drafted, and we're working with launch partners to finalise the process by which ambassadors will be able to sign them and provide their beneficiary addresses. Ambassadors will see more comms on this coming soon. Tokenomics. Dramatic pause. Possibly one of our most frequent community requests. While we've previously provided comprehensive explanations of our token economics, we understand that there is a big appetite to see details of token distributions. Now that we have an incentivized testnet end date set, we will be able to move forward with collating the final pieces of information we require to be able to publish the tokenomics. Whilst I'm wary of setting an exact date here, you can see that this has to happen soon. And indications are that a breakdown will be coming within the next few weeks. So do look out for that. Let's move down to product, the blue row. Those of you who have accessed Astral recently will have seen the amazing work Mark has been doing on the UX there. Not only are the processes we identified as problematic during the short-lived Stake Wars 2 phase being fixed, but there are lots of new features being added that provide a much more rounded and complete view into the state of staking on domains. While the Astral refresh may not be directly on the critical path to launch now, with the news that we're going to launch domains later on in phase 2, it does deserve an honourable mention here due to the amount of effort that's been going into it and the amazing progress being realised there by the product team. Astral rewards checker we've covered earlier, but please do remember to check it out and feedback any questions you may have. The clock will be ticking on reporting anything you want to query. Next, okay, the last blue block there before the big purple block. GPU plotting, even more requested than tokenomics. Hold on to your SSDs because we're talking about the official GPU plotter. For those of you who are following along with the bi-weekly DevSync videos, you will know that Supranational have delivered the GPU plotting code with a reported 50x increase in performance over Threadripper CPUs. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a quantum leap in farming technology. Get ready to plot like never before. Nazar is diligently integrating the feature with our monorepo codebase, and our expectations is that things will move quickly now that the handover has taken place. This is something that we know our farmers are eager to get their hands on as soon as possible, and that includes me. I'm also excited to see these, these massive plotting performance gains on my own farmer rig. Moving to the bottom of the diagram, we can see that the protocol have two main efforts underway. The first is the Autonomys white paper, which is in the final stages of being prepared for publication, and I can say that the drafts I've read have been captivating. If you're curious about our mission and how we're planning to realise the vision, this document is the place to start. We can't wait to share this with you all, and you can expect us to be making a bit of a fuss about it when it's ready. Second, that long block along the bottom there is the ongoing protocol security audit with SR Labs. Our collaboration with SR Labs has been a long one, and it feels really great to have an end in sight with the final consensus audit on the horizon, which leads us neatly into the tasks we will need to complete in the vertical block in the middle of the diagram. They represent the technical preparations the team needs to undertake to be ready for the launch itself, comprising the final Genesis block calculations, the final security audit, which closes out the ongoing audit previously mentioned, and infrastructure setup. So everything from boot nodes, RPC servers, everything that needs to be set up to make the network work. And while all this is going on, it's not represented here, but there's going to be regular mainnet launch dress rehearsals, something that Jeremy's going to lead. They're going to be taking place and will be a further opportunity for community to help us ensure a successful launch. Details on how to participate will be forthcoming. To the right of the preparation milestone, things get even more exciting. Again, further information will be provided on these activities, but essentially the Subspace Foundation will lead the mainnet phase 1 launch, which will happen on a launch party community call. We'll be holding a proof of time ceremony, as we did for the start of Gemini 3H, to ensure we base our network's entropy on a beacon of randomness. After the initial launch will be the seed data deployment, which will include all our community contributions, and once seeding is complete, the space race to activate farming rewards will be kicked off. Our mini space race proved incredibly popular back in February of this year, with the farmer network absolutely blowing us away with their engagement and smashing the space target we set in less than half the time our most optimistic expectations were set at. We hope to see the same level of excitement and buzz and mainnet rewards when we launch the space race for real. As you can see, there are a packed few weeks coming up for the project. We do, of course, have plans beyond this simplified milestone snapshot. That includes the new testnet, Stake Wars 2, Hacker Month 2, and delivering domains in our phase 2 launch. And we'll be providing greater detail on those close to the time. It's been a long journey to get to this point, but we are super excited to have the final phases of the mainnet launch planned out and so few steps away. We hope you'll join us through the end of the testnet and, of course, onto the mainnet, where initial farmers will benefit from the highest rewards available on our dynamic issuance rewards curve. Those early adopters will enjoy both the most level playing field as the network reset ensures a fair start for everyone, and those high block rewards. As we approach the launch pad of our mainnet, the excitement is palpable. Can you feel it? The air is buzzing with potential, with the promise of a new era in blockchain technology. Every line of code, every test, every community contribution has led us to this moment. We're not just launching a network, we're igniting a revolution in decentralized storage and computation. It's finally happening, everyone. And that's what I have to say about the roadmap today, guys. I believe I'm handing off to Jeremy, who's going to talk a bit more on our plans for Stake Wars 2.
You're always hard to follow, Jim. All right, so it's been alluded to, and I've seen that there's been questions about this in the chat. Stake Wars 2 is in fact going to be postponed until after mainnet launch. It's going to be taking place on our next test network. So why? I think it's clear that the original Stake Wars 2, which was meant to stress test our domains, achieved its intended purpose in rigorously testing the network, and we found issues. So insights gained from this exercise have revealed that there are areas in domains and cross-domain messaging that need further refinement to ensure stability and security of the network. The fraud-proof systems are complex, and we want to continue testing before moving to mainnet. We don't really, obviously, we don't want to take shortcuts on security. And likewise, cross-domain messaging is a critical component to the usability of the network. And it's critical that this is both efficient, working, and is secure. These issues are being addressed, but are going to require more testing. As I mentioned before, after we launch mainnet phase 1, we'll be launching a new persistent testnet. This network is going to include all of these updates that are happening right now around domains and be a testing ground for our phase 2 launch. This is where we will conduct Stake Wars 2, so on this network. This is likely to happen in late fourth quarter. And just want to highlight that we're decoupling the consensus layer release from the execution layer release. As the community has observed, the consensus chain has been stable for many months now, and kind of the decoupling of this release of execution allows us more time for testing and is really taking advantage of our modular design. So regarding things like slashed tokens and stuff, that's not going to really be of concern, since it's not the token value that really matters in these contests. So by going to a new network, it'll basically reset everybody, and we will have a fair kind of distribution of tokens for Stake Wars 2, and making sure that everybody is able to participate in that. Regarding kind of the broader token allocation for Stake Wars 2, also nothing will change. So, and that is Stake Wars 2.
Thanks, Jeremy. I can see from the chat, apologies if my dog was picked up in the background during my soliloquy there. Apologies. Peter, are you available to talk to us about some upcoming marketing initiatives?
Sir, absolutely. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So I think it might be nice to kind of sum up everything right now. So it's clear that, there's been a lot of work that's been put into the protocol side. There's a lot of operational work right now that needs to carry us through each of these individual phases, as Labesh has highlighted in the beginning. And if we're going to narrow this down, well, let's take a look at it, broadly. There's been so much work done on the protocol side, all of this stuff, and wrapping up all the different test nets, and then actually getting us to market. All of this is very technical, right? We understand this. And the challenge always has been a marketing. How do we actually take all of this that the fantastic engineering team is doing? How do we package that? How do we make this whole positioning? How do we actually capture these key messaging within a way that the external community can actually understand right away what we're doing, and also partnerships that we're looking to onboard via the on-chain ecosystem that they can understand very clearly and very focused. So maybe Jim, could you actually just backtrack one slide here? Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I did add a new slide here. I'm not sure it's.
Would you like me?
Which is fine.
I can have a stab at refreshing. Just bear with me, everyone.
Thank you, Jim. So one of the things that we've been working on pretty intensely since I came on, it's been maybe close to 2 months now. But one of the biggest things was we had this existing website that we needed to upgrade, rather update, and kind of have it match our current positioning, and also match the key messaging of what we want to deliver. So this I'm very excited. Actually, just passed the. If you go back 2 slides, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Jim. So one of the things that we've been working on is we've been designing the prototype for this new website, and I'm very excited to announce that this should be ready probably for testing around next week. And of course, being in Web3, we understand that the community is key. So you guys will have the first chance to essentially test out this new website, and it has all the different funnels that you can expect of a traditional network that is launching and going to market. And that's been the key, right? How do we actually truly capture the messaging of what it is that we're doing? And we believe we've done that. We believe that, to kind of position ourselves, we have to look ourselves as a network, as a as a layer to that enables the development of future upcoming AI-powered applications. And that's what we're positioning Autonomys to be. We are the foundation layer for AI 3.0. AI 3.0, we're not even there yet. Right, what we are building is for the future. We want to future-proof all applications, and we understand that AI is this next phase that essentially is going to transform how we interact with not only our daily lives, but also on blockchain as well. And does that exist currently? Like, can we actually find examples of other networks or other projects that are truly building decentralized AI applications? Probably not yet. Probably not yet. At least I personally have not seen any with clear AI integrations. And what we were doing is that we understand that this is kind of the next wave, and so let's position ourselves to be at the forefront of that next wave. And as you guys can see, I'm not sure if Parth has been able to join, but one of the key aspects of partnerships and building this on-chain ecosystem is that we are the next wave that enables this, right? We are the AI layer. Every single application, every single developer that will build some sort of DApp on our network will be powered by AI 3.0, and that is us, and that is the messaging, and that's how we're going to market. So if we can switch to the next slide here. So I think in terms of marketing, I think it's important to kind of break down these different phases, right? So as we mentioned, there's three kind of phases, with the third phase essentially being the future phase, right? That's the ongoing. That's where we're going to be. That's our North Star. That's full scalability. That's with sharding. That's with all these different domains, right? That is the goal. That's where we want to be. And of course, we're not there yet, right? Let's be honest, we're not there yet. So how can we actually get from step 1 to step 3? So on the marketing side, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been building up a heavy arsenal of ammunition that we can use. I'm a person that, when we're doing marketing, we need to build a narrative. We need to understand how the product is being delivered so that we can build a life cycle story from product to product to product to keep up that narrative, to keep up that the momentum of growth. Right. That is what we're doing. We are growing the network. We're starting from day one. A lot of you guys have been here from day one, and we're now taking the next step to that. So within that mainnet phase 1, I mentioned as well, we have this website rebrand, right? That's going to be huge. One of the things that we've been loading up as well is we're going heavy on PR. Right, in order to make a big splash in terms of everything that we want. We've onboarded right now 2 different PR agencies, and there's a third one that is currently under discussions. I'll drop an alpha for you guys. So we just signed them as well, but Masari will be coming on, and Masari will be doing quantitative and qualitative reports for the Autonomys network. So pretty much everything that you can expect in terms of, kind of the high level quality, the distribution from a major resource such as Masari, that they're coming on as well. Right. Jim mentioned as well, right? We have the white paper and light paper that will be coming up at some point in this month, probably kind of mid-month. So what you can expect is that pretty much by mid-month of September, everything that you see on Autonomys is going to change, right? In terms of how we're communicating, the cadence of content, the actual specialization of content to break down some of these protocol highlights. There's going to be a heavy focus on actually onboarding users into the network via farmers or via operating their own nodes. This is all going to happen. And what we're doing right now is actually defining KPIs that will carry us month to month from mainnet phase 1 to mainnet phase 2 with kind of an understanding of where we want to go for phase 3 as well. So all of this is being worked on as well. And then once we get to actual mainnet phase 2, which is the TGE, we have the transferability of tokens, and then we also have domains existing on top of that, right? So the first domain will be EVM, Nova EVM, and this is when we're expecting kind of go out to there to market, get developers that actually want to build on that domain to build applications that everyday people will use, powered by AI 3.0. So to kind of sum it up, I apologize. I wish I could have brought a more visual kind of chart, but a lot of things when it comes to marketing is very timeline based. It's very, sometimes it needs to be a little bit in the dark before we can release it. But what we are doing is that over the next, 3, 4, 5 months, there is a heavy focus on going out into the external community and showcasing that we're here, we're ready. We've been developing for a number of years, and this is our time, right? One thing I do want to add as well. So we will be focusing a bit heavily on the event side as well. And the first event that we are targeting is Token 2049. So that is in September, mid-September, about 2 weeks from now, in Singapore, and we have 5 side events planned. So we will be at Token 2049 with 5 different side events. All of these are being supported by the main Token 2049 official side event panel list. So we're on all of them, and we've got some really cool stuff. There's lots of panel discussions. Labesh will be on a few. We've invited some of the world's leading researchers on AI to be part of a panel as well. So we'll be announcing all this very shortly. So with that being said, I think for me, I'd like to close off by saying that, it's all about timing in Web3, definitely. It's all about timing in life as well. And it certainly is impossible to time everything perfectly. And certainly that shouldn't be the point of life. That should be the point of Web3. But what we can do is control all of the conditions that we can control in order to make things successful so that when the timing does come, we are ready. And that essentially is how we're looking at marketing, how we're looking at all of these product rollouts. So that's my side. Thank you guys very much. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I do believe Parth was supposed to be next, but he's having a little bit of issues on the Discord side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's actually a pretty good time to transition into Q&A to give plenty of time and space for our community to ask these questions. Jim, do you think we can postpone the partnership section into the next community call?
I think that's probably sensible. We're tight on time as well. And I can see we've got a bunch of questions to get to. I have splashed up Parth's slide. Unfortunately, we're having some technical issues there by the looks of things. So this is going to be in the recording. So later on, if you want to review it in greater detail and, pop any questions you have about any of the content here into Discord, where you can find the ecosystem team at all hours usually. So yeah, I think that's a great idea, Emil. So yeah, should we hit some Q&A? I see we've got a number of question marks. I'm just trying to find the first one, which is terrible radio.
Yeah, I found the first one. So there was one from Captain Clocks. And they're asking how many mainnet phases are there? And anyone on stage, please feel free to just jump on and answer these questions.
So there's actually a question right at the bottom as well that I just answered. Captain Clogs, hey, good to see you. So yeah, there's some confusion because Peter showed 3 phases. So the way it works is what we previously described as mainnet beta, which is farmers providing consensus and then domains on top. That's now been split into 2 phases. So we've always had plans for mainnet beta and then mainnet omega, which is where we work through our scalability roadmap, which has always been the plan. So it's 2 phases is the change, but yeah, kind of mainnet omega is a bit further out. So hopefully that explains things, the confusion between 2 and 3 phases. 2D. Did they review the code yet? I've just got here. So yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about SR Labs or Galaxy here. I'm going to assume SR Labs. Yeah, so we talked at length about how we have an ongoing security audit with SR Labs, which we will be looking to kind of close out in the coming weeks. We've had several iterations with those guys, with the guys at SR Labs, a very competent outfit, as I'm sure you're aware. And the issues that they've raised and queries that they've had have all been addressed. So yeah, we believe we're very close. And then you've got a follow-up question, Tudi. Well, I see second mainnet mean TGE. Yes, essentially correct. JD Speedy 15 from Speedy Staking. Do we have any dates for the Stake Wars 2 restart? We have a node already prepared. So I'm not sure if we covered this, but what needs to happen to run Stake Wars 2 now, Speedy, is we need to get to the point where we've launched consensus, and then we're going to spin up a persistent testnet. Again, cool names for our persistent testnet on a postcard or in Discord. We'd love to hear what your ideas for that are. And we're going to run Stake Wars 2 on that network. So that's going to come after the phase 1 mainnet launch, but obviously it has to come before phase 2 because we need to test domains. Hopefully with more success than the original Stake Wars 2. And I'm actually going to answer another question that was asked by Vexer further down about the rewards there. So those who have seen all the mechanics of Stake Wars 2 understand that there's 0.3% of token supply allocated across 3 different challenges in Stake Wars 2. That's still the intention. So nothing's changed there. 0x Cedar. Are all active testnet participants, including Galaxy participants, eligible for rewards? Galaxy is an education tool at the moment, Cedar. Testnet participants who have earned block or vote rewards during incentivized phases of the testnet are definitely eligible for rewards. Andrew, what about slash tokens in Stake Wars 2? Great question. So because we're not going to run Stake Wars 2 on Gemini 3H, the tokens are kind of irrelevant. Your incentivized testnet rewards are always tied back to the block and vote rewards that you earn through the farming. So beyond that, they don't really have any impact on anything. So yeah, I'm afraid we probably won't be returning them. There's apart from bragging rights, they have no real value. They're just testnet tokens. Oh, Punky, you will miss it so much. Auto test, is that your entry? That's okay. We can throw that one in the hat. Vitrador from Mingo Nodes. So last reward for Gemini 3H is on 18th of September, right? Correct. Yes. We will announce the final incentivized block live on the call on the 18th. And at that point, of course, we've got everything we need to go away and calculate what every eligible wallet has earned, and therefore what their mainnet allocation will be. Will Autonomous only work on Polkadot? A question from Drag Pacoa. So Autonomous is based. So the Autonomous network is an instance of the subspace protocol, which is built using Substrate. We are not a parachain, so we don't really sit on Polkadot. So will Autonomous only work on Polkadot? No, it works independently of Polkadot. If that makes sense. Okay, Judy was definitely talking about Galaxy. Cat images are very welcome. Not dog images though. Thank you very much. I'm joking. I might put my dog in there actually. When we can stop nodes, entirely up to you, Medion or Median. Obviously, we'd love for people to continue running on the testnet afterwards, but yeah, we appreciate what that means. That when we cease the incentivized phase, so I guess what you're after really is the 18th is when we're ending the incentivized testnet. Yeah, and great. It is great work from Mark. His turnaround in Astral is phenomenal. I see Jeremy's commented. I'm not sure. Can anyone translate that question from Fiery Swan? Maybe pop it at the end. Yes, Todd, 50x. I know. I couldn't believe it. Okay, so Drag Pacoa struggles with my accent. I think I was talking quite fast. I was worried about the time, which I apologise for. There will be a text version that you'll be able to digest at your leisure. I believe we're going to put out a blog post, which Charlie and I will work on. Okay, observation from Vitrador. Mainnet launch only consensus layer in October. Yes, spot on. Okay, guys, I'm hogging the questions here. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in. Okay, JD Speedy 15 again. So for newcomers, validators that just joined on testnet, how can we contribute to the network with also the goal to join mainnet as a validator? So Stake Wars 2, my friend, there'll be an opportunity there for you to earn a portion of the rewards reserved for that initiative. So keep an eye out for that. As I say, it has to come in our roadmap there. It has to come in between mainnet. So it's going to come off the end of that slide there after Space Race, but before Phase 2 launch. The exact timeline to be confirmed, but as mentioned earlier, we're aiming for Q1, so it'll be sometime between now and then. Can we see pictures of the new website from Drag Pacoa again? I think Peter probably wants to kind of hold off too many sneak previews so we can get the full effect. I know that there was a bit of a teaser on Peter's updated slide. Not sure if we're gonna entertain a early preview.
I think we might be able to hit this state at some point next week for.
Okay, you heard it here first. Okay, so definitely tune in next week, because not only will we be launching the Genesis seed data contest, there's a good chance you're going to see a preview of the website, and it does look absolutely ace, I have to say. I'm really excited about us launching that. Vex's question about Stake Wars 2 rewards, I think we covered that. Yeah, I've answered that. Cedar, I saw this come up, Peter. Everybody, you've got a silky voice and a great mic, my friend. You're a great speaker, and you've got 600s underneath that as well. So that's something to take away from the call today. Will there be a pre-sale on TokenSoft or CoinList from Dragpaco again? I don't know if Todd's answered that. I don't believe there is. I don't believe there's a plan for that.
There is not a plan for that. As everyone is likely aware, there was at one point plans for potentially doing a public token sale with a percentage of the allocation. It was decided not to do that for a variety of reasons. And those tokens are going to be going to the Subspace Foundation, and they will be able to use those for whatever they see fit, perhaps some provisions and bootstrapping to incentivize early participation on the network. But any announcements or further information about what they plan to do with those tokens will be coming from the foundation. That's not something that we can really speak for on their behalf.
Thanks, Todd. And that's a great point, actually. You know, we are here today as Autonomous Labs, the DevCo. Once the foundation has its voice, as I mentioned earlier in the roadmap, you know, you're going to probably hear some news about that. And the foundation, of course, is charged with the growth and health of the network ecosystem. So if there's, you know, if you have an idea for an initiative that you believe would be aligned with their goals, then, you know, feel free to reach out to them. But again, we'll be talking at length about that shortly. Ula, loving your tweets. Mainnet is 3 phases instead of 2. Okay, so this was where we saw the question. I've answered that. So yeah, I think mainnet Omega would be phase 3. We've split mainnet beta into 2. So hopefully that makes sense. But if it doesn't, please do re-ask. Fiery Swan, what is the name of the main network currency? So I believe it's ATC. I don't know if anyone else on the call wants to weigh in and confirm or. Okay.
I would just add to that. Yeah, we've been calling it ATC AutoCoin. You know, there is, of course, a chance. I know there's been discussions about whether or not we would want to change that, but as of now, it is AutoCoin ATC, just as Charlie had dropped in the chat.
Wonderful. So codename ATC, but that's a perfectly good mainnet token ticker. Okay. All right, I've got to the end. Did anyone spot any questions that I haven't answered? Or does anyone have
I was
any more
following
questions?
you like in the chat, and I think you covered them all.
Okay, thanks. So we're finished a little early. We thought we were going to overrun today. Does anyone have any? Yeah, okay, Celia. Was there one in particular you wanted to see? It's probably Peter's marketing one. Actually, I think, is my screen share frozen? Let me try again. Mainnet phases. Okay. Let me just try and. So is that the slide you wanted to see, Celia? Happy to, yeah, okay. So yeah, so, you know, just to double clarify here, mainnet phase 2 is what was previously termed mainnet beta. I mean, internally, we're still calling that phase 2. Delivery of phase 2 will be the point at which we've delivered mainnet beta. Phase 3 there is what we've termed mainnet omega, which we haven't talked a great deal on previously. We've mentioned it, but we don't have any kind of hard plans or hard documentation, sorry, I should say, out there.
Yeah, just for the purpose of clarification, phase one is consensus chain. That's what's going to happen in October. We are talking about the farming nodes. We are talking about the token transfers are still restricted. Phase two is domains. The tokens become transferable. Now, phase three onwards, there's always going to be more and more products and features that we are going to be launching, right? So that's that. But from a perspective of functionality, I would like the community to think of phase one as consensus chain, phase two as the addition of domains plus token transferability.
Thanks, Labesh. Just see if anyone has any questions about that. So, yeah, domains and transferability in phase two. Don, where do you get 8 months from? You see. Hey guys, let's see. Okay, it looks like we've dried up with questions. Thanks for the observation there, Vamsic, and thanks, Punky. So, excellent. As we wrap up today's call, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the journey we're on together. Yes, we've faced some turbulence recently, but it's through these challenges that we grow stronger and more resilient as a community. Your support, feedback, and patience are what make Autonomous what it is, a vibrant, innovative ecosystem built by and for its members. A special thank you to everyone who joined us live today and contributed to the discussion. Your presence here matters, and it drives us to keep pushing forward. This call will be available on YouTube shortly, along with some supporting blog and forum posts, so feel free to revisit any of the information shared today. Again, we are eager to share the new white paper in the next week or two. Peter has been working flat out on that fresh new website as we approach mainnet, and will be in full force at Token 2049, hosting and participating in 5 events there, which we'll be providing full details of soon. If you would like to meet up there, please do reach out to any team member to get the ball rolling on that. And don't forget, we have exciting events on the horizon, including that Genesis Seed Data Contest, the Testnet Rewards Audit, and the space race, the real space race that will follow the mainnet phase 1 launch, so stay tuned. Finally, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter. We are at AutonomousNet, and help us spread the word by liking and reposting our announcements. Every bit of engagement helps as we gear up for mainnet. Thank you once again for spending your time with us. Keep an eye on our socials for future announcements. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. Until then, keep farming, keep questioning, and as always, stay connected. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone for joining. See you next time.